Here we are in part 2 as we explore examples regarding information of recognizing statistics and using the vocabulary that we have learned. Determine whether the result below appear to have statistical significance and also determine whether the results have practical significance. In a study of the weight loss program, 7 subjects lost an average of 44 pounds. Amazing. It is found that there is about a 40% chance of getting such results with a diet. With a diet that has no effect. Does the weight loss program have statistical significance? All right. Well, what do you think? All right. Now remember, 40% chance of getting this weight loss without a diet that has effects. All right. That means on your own, cutting back, more water, the normal stuff. Well, there's a statistical significance is no. So we have 2 no's. Now let's read the yeses so we know why that's wrong. Yes, the program is statistically significant because the results are likely to occur likely to occur by chance. Yes, they can happen by chance. But remember what the information says, by 5% chance, not likely to happen. So that one's wrong. So in this case, this doesn't meet the criteria. It's even stated wrong. Yes, the program is statistically significant because the results are unlikely to occur by chance. And that's wrong too, because the diet that had no effect was 40%. So it did not meet. Oh, you see, that's an M. Sorry. Okay, so it says here, now we got to the no's. No, the program is not statistically significant because the results are likely to by chance. That fits it. Because it can happen by chance, is not significantly significant. All right. And of course, the other one says unlikely to occur by chance is, oh, no, the program is not statistically significant. Double negative, meaning that it is. And we know that's not true. All right. So let's assess the next one, practical significance. So in this one, we know that it is, if it's not a statistical significance, then we know it is a practical So we're going to look at the yeses. And on the yeses, it is the first one says the program is practically significant because the amount of weight loss is large enough to be considered practically significant. And that's it. And that is encouragement of the small sample in large weight loss. Now, can you replicate it? No. And how long a period? We don't know. And you know, the longer you're on a diet, like Oprah, she came off of it, thinking she could control it on her own, the more you get restrictions that cause you not to follow that rigor. All right. So there you have that one. So let's look at some math here. Well, no, it's just a table, and see what we can see regarding the information and the analysis of this data. All right, so let's look at that. Excuse me. Refer to the table of body temperatures, degrees in Fahrenheit. Is there some meaningful way in which each body temperature recorded at 8 a.m. is matched with the 12 a.m. temperatures? All right, well, is there? Let's see. We have 97 at 8 o'clock and 97.6 at 12 noon. And on the second recipient, 98.5 in the morning, 97. Okay, that dropped. The other one increased, dropped. The next one increased. The next one increased. And the last one decreased. So 2 decreases and 3 increases. Okay, so what can we say about this particular collection? Well, we can see that there's a connection. Okay, there are increases and decreases. Okay, so let's see what we have. No, the 8 a.m. temperatures are from one individual over 5 days, and that's wrong because these are subjects, so that's wrong. Yes, the 8 a.m. temperature are all from one individual over 5 days. No, it is the subject. Well, that's actually kind of true, isn't it? It is the same person, sorry. But it says subject. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of hard to understand. Body temperature to match. Okay. Didn't give us information on it, so we can infer whatever we want. We're going to wait on that one. Yes, each column of 8 a.m. and 12 a.m. temperatures is recorded from the same subject, so each pair is matched. That's another one that's iffy. Yes, the 8 a.m. temperatures are all from one individual over 5 days, and with 12 a.m. temperatures are from the same individual. That one looks the bit better. And this one, but on the same 5 days, let's see, what does this one say? Temperature is recorded from the same subject, so each pair is matched. It's that one. All right, that was tricky because we said the subject and what happens with the subject. Okay. Now we're more vocabulary. And these are ways bias can occur. Statistics. All right, well, what the heck is bias? Bias is when desired outcome from the study. From the study is manipulated by source of study, manner of questions, and participation by respondents. Study. This one is done by politicians all the time. They're looking at statistics and they want to prove that gun control is needed to control gun violence. On the onset, you would say yes. If there's no guns, there's no death. But I have to warn people that it's illegal. We have all of the criteria to secure the issuance of gun purchases to individuals who pass a check and have a 3-day grace period, so you can't buy it by impulse or emotional stress. So bad people will always find a way to acquire guns. So loaded questions mean that the sensationalism of gun violence, which happens like in Chicago, New York, all of those places have to do with a deeper problem, which is jobs, education, housing, uh, eating, and those they're trying to address in our government because they really know what the underlying problems are. So we have to be careful about the loaded question. And the loaded question is when the desired response is laden, sorry, I think that's LAD, by emotional concerns. Nobody wants a child to die. Argument with abortion has to do with when does life begin. That is an emotional topic. So as they do studies, it's very difficult to get a criteria. Um, so a loaded question appeals to some emotional status and usually done when people uh, are riled up. Now, remember when they were talking about police brutality in profiling minorities. No doubt the data did show that the majority were minorities of all kinds. But it also had to do with the fact that those minorities had that socioeconomic status that caused them to have despair and acted out because nobody was listening. Well, then we had the riots where they destroyed property. Is that a good way to display your fear of police by destruction of property that is not yours, where they stole and they did a whole bunch of bad things. Martin Luther King, uh, he did it in the fashion of protest and alerting the powers to be, because they will listen, that there is a problem. And he did it. It doesn't go fast. It never goes fast. Government moves very, very slow, unless it's an emotional topic. The result was, because of these riots, that the police were put under restrictive requirements when addressing a perpetrator, causing bodily harm to other people or stealing or whatever. And they made the rule that if it was less than $500, they wouldn't bother with them because there was so many people stealing. Well, now the president said that that might have been wrong, because gun violence and violence in general has increased 20% in the large cities, because the police just stand by. It won't help the people who have businesses acquire back their stuff. So the loaded question, done at a time when the emotions are very, very high from one incident or another, can cause a response that may or may not be the accurate one to address the issue. Okay, the other one is a survey, where the questions are done in an order to have the desired outcome. This does happen when they survey people who voice their choice in an election. What they'll do is they say, how do you feel about abortion? How do you feel about gun control? How do you feel about taxes? How do you feel? And then they say, well, how do you feel about the candidate, Joe Smith, who is pro abortion, anti-gun, etc. Well, if you responded that you were concerned about those issues, and here's a man who has made a statement, well, then it seems to a reason that what they're doing is giving you a sales pitch. That's called order of questions. A non-response is when surveys are sent out to a specific group and some do not return for personal reasons or lack of time or whatever. This is always addressed in the study. And what this does is say, why didn't these people respond? These are all, I get them all the time about higher education and pedagogy and things like that. And you get tired of of answering them, and of what relevance is it if my opinion is just mine. And so we all think about these things of non-response, and what they do is cause questions of somebody saying, I feel this, and go against somebody else's opinion. Or it might say, well, everybody's going to have the same opinion as me. I won't respond, which can be true or false. Again, assumptions by any one person can affect statistics severely. All right, so let's do some examples here. Several studies showed, and typo, that after eating 4 servings of dairy, and typo, a day, subjects had lowered risk of osteoporosis. A dairy farmer organization, that means a group, financed the research and identify what is wrong with this approach. All right. So, let's look at the question or study. And it was 4 servings of dairy a day lowers risk of osteoporosis. And that's bone loss, osteoporosis. People that are bent over or have bow legs, severe bow legs, and things like that. That's lack of calcium to develop proper bone strength. All right. Well, what are the problems here? Well, now we can state that dairy farmers have a vested interest. They sell dairy product. Vested means a a they have a monetary concern about people doing milk. So let's see what we have. It is not possible to take accurate measurements. That makes no sense because there is nothing wrong with about the 4 servings. It is questionable that the sponsor it is questionable that the sponsor of is a dairy farmers organization because this sponsor can be greatly affected by the conclusion. And that nails it. Data used in the studies is not reliable because it was not measured by administrator. That we don't know that. Since the research is composed of voluntary, no, we don't know that either. Not listed, given. And the accurate measurements, I don't even know what that is implying. So the only response that is important here, it's the interest of the dairy farmer into that study. If you put money in it, you're going to tend to want to be affected by the contributor of the study. Here's another one. A magazine ran a survey about a website for downloading music. Readers could register their responses on the magazine's website. Okay, well, what's wrong with this one? All right, so it was a website for downloading music. And this was a free response on the magazine's website. All right. So let's see what's wrong with this kind of concept. It is likely that the survey used loaded questions. No, it's not loaded. It's Yay or nay? So the result of the surveys are not reliable. No, that's not it. Okay. The magazine has an interest in the survey results. It's a magazine. It has nothing to do with downloading music. It was just inquiring about how many people use whatever to get music. The sample is a census. Census means that we have the entire population. And can't assume magazine has a subscribers of all readers. All right, so that's wrong. So this is the last one. The sample is voluntary response. Bam. That's the word we used when we started our sample criteria that was difficult to formulate a cross section. So we can't be sure that it doesn't represent the population. So we've been reading about percentages in this lesson. So we have to, at this juncture, learn about percents in statistics. Um, Number one is percents used statistics as a report on analysis of data. And responses and support of study. So that's one of the things we use is, well, we read 40% on the diet and so on and so forth out of the 7 participants losing that weight. So it does reflect that. We understand the second part about percent is the portion of data that supports claim. Now, this is a new word, claim, meaning whatever the study was saying. And I'm going to introduce it here because it's important. So, how do we use it? Statistics. Well, the common way that we use it in statistics is to arrive at one. right. So this is the one way we can use it. And the way that is uh, the number of data focus, the data focus over the total number of data collected times 100, then add symbol, percent symbol after the number. Well, we can see that as a numerator over a denominator times 100 plus symbol. All right, that's what we have. So that we can use the calculator to arrive at this. All right, well, that's one way, how to arrive at a percent. And then the other thing we need to know is how to convert. That's a W, I know you see it. Not a percent to a decimal. To calculate number of data. Now we use this guy to figure out, well, how much of the data actually agreed with that premise that they presented to us. So to do this one, okay, we take the percent value and we cross it out. We make sure if percent value is a whole number, to place a decimal at right end, then move the decimal to left, 2 decimal places, and insert decimal point. Now change to a decimal value. All right, I'm going to stop there. We only have a few more problems, but I want you to glean what you need. Make sure you use the stop feature on the video when needed so that you can catch up with me. Thank you for listening.